All right, so we're gonna start this momentarily. Also on Facebook Live. Let's pop that there and let's go live. There's more people adding a title, add a title. Easter surprise online paint party. Okay, and boom. And why would it let me? Not sure if it's going live yet or what's happening. So let's see what's going on. Setting up my meeting for Facebook Live. Okay. Awesome. All right. I think we are live now, which is exciting.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we are. Okay, cool. Great. So what I'm going to do is just going to get my comments going on my phone just so I can see that. I'm doing it through Zoom because I'm trying to record this so I can upload this to our YouTube page as well.
Okay.
So just give me a moment and I will do that. How are you guys all doing today? It's kind of a dreary day.
Damn.
Kind of nice. Jack is with me today. I'll let Jack be on there. No, he doesn't want Jack. Come on, say hi.
Bye.
All right. Apparently my son's invisible today, which is all right. He didn't initially want to join, so I've set it up really cozy, nice cozy setting for us today. Fantastic. Okay. There we go. Okay, perfect. So I should be able to see comments as we go through. If I miss them, I apologize. And I'm just setting up my reference picture. So what we're going to be doing today is we are going to be painting this lovely picture. Oh man, how glary is that? So here is, it's like a gray background and it's a beautiful tree, very spring, very fun. It kind of has a day kind of like today's dreary kind of day. And then it has nice leaves and whatnot on the tree, and it has a swing, and it's quite nice. Awesome. All right. Hey, Annette. Glad to have you on here.
Oh, please.
All right. You need to stop with your attitude, mister. All right. So, okay. So let's start this up. Me reprimanding my child as we go on. All right. So we have this lovely picture. So what we're going to do is, again, we have our palette. We have our 5 main paints that I use all the time. Red, yellow, blue, black, and white. I have backups right beside me. I got my water container, and I got my brushes, 3 different sizes just to give us some flexibility in that. And I have some paper towel as needed. I also have this really gross rag that I use as well. All right, so let's start it up. So with this painting, we want to start and decide where you want your light center to be. So in this one, it's a little glary, I apologize. It's almost like about a third of the way down in the center, and then it emanates from there. It's very gray, but again, you can decide how you want to do it. If you want it to be a different color, if you want it to be blue, if you want it to add a little bit more to it. I think for me personally, I'm going to stick with having it really light in the middle, going out to the gray, but I might add a little bit of like purpley into the gray. Sometimes I feel like gray kind of has like a purple feel to it, and that makes me happy. So I'm just going to dip my big brush into the water, get it a little wet, and I'm going to grab my white and grab a little bit of black and start to build up the background. The other thing with this background is it's circular. You don't have to worry about that too much when you're starting, but let's keep that in mind as we continue, as we were putting the paint to the page.
Wait, just a question. Do we mix these colors together, or do you just use the paint on the brush?
I mixed a little bit together, the black with the white a bit, but you can start it off that way. If you put a little bit of water too, it'll let it spread really nice.
Well, I'm going to just mix it and see what happens, okay?
Yeah, do it up. Now I'm using this canvas paper. So on my canvas paper, it doesn't soak up the water very well at all. So I have to be very cognizant not to use too much water or I'll get some dripping effect, which happened quite a bit on my last live that we did on Saturday. But at the same time, things can happen and it's okay. All right, so let's just get this canvas covered in background gray paint. And so I'm putting the gray on, just layering it up with some white as I'm going. I'm starting to kind of bring in this kind of circular motion to my painting to get the vibe of how I want the light to emanate from the middle outwards. Hope everyone who was celebrating Easter had a fantastic time. We did a little egg hunt around our living room yesterday, which was nice. Jack ended up re-hiding the eggs and getting his dad to find them, so that was pretty cute.
Yes, I did.
Yes, you did. For anyone who's just joining and seeing, we are Jack's painting with me, only he's just not in the frame. He's just behind me. He's being a little camera shy for some reason today, which is not usual. But he's definitely not shy in speaking, so I'm sure you'll hear him.
Yeah, you'll probably hear me because you just heard me.
Yep.
This instant.
All right, so that's what I have so far. And the corners of your page are going to be a little darker, so just keep that a little bit darker and have this kind of circular.
I'm putting mine more in like a diamond shape.
Oh yeah, that's fine too. You have a lot of water in your brush right now, Jack, so you may want to put more paint on it.
I wanted to put a lot of water on my brush to make the illusion that it's like kind of like dark in the corners, but they're getting lighter.
Awesome, that's great. That can work too. Okay, so I'm just, as I'm coming to the center, I'm just putting more and more white paint on my brush. My brush still has obviously some gray in it, and that is okay. So it's going to be pulling some of that gray into the center, and that's fine. Pull it out. Awesome. If anyone's joining, feel free to say hi. Nice to have you guys joining us today on this dreary day. So we have a circular gray background so far. So I want to put a little bit of purplish in that background. I'm going to dab like a tiny bit of red on the corner of my big old brush, and I'm putting a tiny bit of blue as well on that same corner. I'm mixing it right on the brush. I dipped it in the red and I dipped it in the blue on the corner. And then now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of touch them with the corners. I'm just going to put a little bit of this purpley color in because I like purple, especially in grays.
Kind of like this?
Yeah, great. You may need a little bit more red, but you could always mix it a bit and see. But I would get more paint all over the canvas before you did that because you haven't done your circle yet unless you're doing something a little bit different.
Yeah, this is what I'm doing.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, so as I get that, then I'm just going to blend it in a bit because I don't want it to be prominent. I just want like a bit of a hint of color in the background. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. The original painting is pure gray in the back. And I don't want to put too much color because the tree and the leaves and the little flowers on the tree is really what stands out in the color. So I don't want to take away from that, but I still want a little hint of it in the back. I can't help myself. I'm a colorful person, even though I'm wearing pretty much black and gray, which I guess is the mood of this pattern today, of this painting today.
My purple ended up becoming kind of maroon, and I like it.
Okay, cool. That's great. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes you mix colors and a different color comes out unexpectedly, and it actually works really nice. So go with it.
And now on also one of the corners, it turns out to be kind of like a magenta.
Okay.
It's kind of weird.
That's very dark.
Yeah, I made a very dark purple.
right, so I'm pretty happy with my background now. It does have to dry a little bit before we start putting in the next step. So I'm just gonna wait a moment. We're gonna see how Jack's doing. How's it going?
Everything's fine except that I got little drips of water on my canvas.
All right, that's okay. Well, we can move this on this side if you want. Let's take a look and see what Jack's up to. There's Jack. All right, we'll continue on. All right, so I'm just gonna rinse out my big brush and I'm gonna move on to my medium brush just so I can start putting in the tree. So just rinsing that off fully.
So what colors are we going to mix for the tree?
Well, I want it to be, I need more black on I use a lot of black and white on my background. So I'm just gonna have to put some black and white on my palette. I'm gonna be using red and black to kind of make that a reddish brown color. And then I might add a little bit more to it, but I think I'm gonna start off with those two to get kind of the reddish
and
brown.
Black?
Yeah, so like
a little. Gonna make brown?
It's gonna give you like a reddish black. It's gonna kind of have a brown kind of vibe to it. Yeah. Okay. You might want to put some more, like some other colors in there too, depending on how you want your brown to go.
Black because black is very strong.
Black is very
strong. Now mixy.
Okay, so it's still kind of maroonish, which is nice. I don't mind that. I'm gonna get a bit of yellow and throw it in there.
You need a new color.
I need a little bit more. I'm gonna put a bit of yellow because I want it to be a little bit lighter. Okay, I like that brown. So kind of mix until you get a brown that you're digging. So my brush is very covered in paint. I'm gonna still water that down a bit just to make this easy to apply. I want smooth-ish tree lines, even though I still want the tree to have kind of some nice character going on. Okay, so now let's decide where you want your tree to go. In this picture, the tree starts off on the, I guess about a quarter in from the right of the canvas, and it kind of sways and the branches spear off. So I'm gonna keep that idea with mine too. So I'm just gonna start at the bottom. Okay, give it a little bit of shape. My canvas is still not fully dry, so it's gonna pull in some of the colors in the background. And I'm very likely gonna wanna go over it a bit.
I have to go with that.
Ideally, you'd want to let this dry for putting in your branches, but we can always go back and darken them up a little bit later.
Hey, this is actually a pretty nice brown.
You get a nice brown going on? Yeah?
It's more like pinkish.
Oh, fantastic.
It's my favorite color. I like it.
Hey, Laura. Yeah, we just decided to do this kind of impromptu session just for funsies. But yeah, we'll have it available so anyone can join along later. That's what I love about this Facebook Live. It's cool because you can jump in whenever you want. So I'm going to bring another branch around here. And I'm going to keep some of the thinner branches for my thin brush, so I'm not going to do that fully yet.
Use your fine tip?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to use my fine tip then too.
Sounds good.
I'm actually going to start building some green leaves.
Are you going to do green leaves already? Yeah?
Well, I'm kind of already done my tree.
Oh, have you done your tree already? Oh, okay. That's okay. I think you should fill it in a bit more. It doesn't look very full.
Oh yeah, that's why I grabbed the thin brush in the first place. I was going to put some more thin branches.
I think you should put some more thin branches for sure. Okay, I don't know if I want any more thicker ones. Maybe one more this way. I'm gonna make it a little sound like a creepy branch. When you're painting, noises are encouraged. So feel free to
join along with the noise.
make some oohs. Makes it more fun.
Yeah, this makes it fun.
Why not, right? Okay, cool. So I'm going to get my thinner brush just so I can get some thinner branches coming in around here. Remember to, I don't know how dry your canvas is in the back, but if it's still pretty wet, it's going to affect the color of your tree. So once it starts to dry off, we can then put in some more details and darken it up or lighten it up or whatever you need to do with it. So I'm getting my thinner brush right now, and I'm going to use some of that paint that I made. I kind of need to make some more. So I'm just going to pull in some more red, get a little bit of black, and make this kind of brown color. Doesn't have to be exactly perfectly the same as the other one. Trees can have a couple different tinges to them, and that is quite all right.
I made a couple of thin branches.
Okay.
And I'm going to add my leaves.
Okay, go for it. All right, so I'm just going to make these a little thinner. So thin brush just lets you just have a little more control, which is nice. Great. Okay, so I'm gonna have some more branches, but I want to use this one for it. So you got that. I'm gonna have another one. Just make sure this stays on. Need some more water. Sometimes I forget to put the water on, and then after I start making my line, it doesn't go the way I want it to, and I'm like, ugh, I should have put water on. Okay. So this one's gonna come like around like this, and up, and we're gonna decide which branch is actually in front of the other branch. Just keep that in mind too. And it's okay if they're kind of weird and twisty. That's totally fine. Okay, my head's not in my way, hopefully. Let me just do it like this a bit. There's the
like a dark sorrel green.
A dark sorrel green? You just call your green sorrel green?
Yep.
That's dramatic.
I like dramatic stuff.
That is true.
Dun dun dun!
Okay. Is it dry enough for me to put my hand on it? That is the question. Yes, it was. Yay. Just gonna wipe my hand every time, just in case it actually isn't.
Yep, that's good. Well, I made very few leaves,
to come out a little bit more.
You know, I don't want to.
There we go. Okay, let's get some more there. You can see. I feel like the setup's better so you can actually see my painting a bit more. Just you can't really see Jack.
Oh no, don't you dare turn that against me.
No. Don't worry. It's fun to hear your commentary, I'm sure. Okay, so let's just get another branch coming over here. This really thick one. It's a little, I'm not really that much of a fan of it, to be honest, but that's okay. We'll just go with it.
Now I need like a dark green.
So the more, depending how you want the feel of this painting to have, I would say the more thin, kind of weird little crinkly branches that you're going to have coming out of the tree, the more it's going to look more lifelike. If you wanted to keep it more cartoon-esque, then you're going to want to not do that. You can keep it a bit thicker, like fewer branches, and it's just more elegant or cartoon-like, I guess, that way. Yeah. Okay, so we have a branch there. Let's bring another one here.
What's the color? Brown.
I want to have another one that kind of comes like here.
What's new?
It's gonna have a little branch that comes out that way, and it's gonna come across there. Okay, and now let's start working on that top one a bit. You know what? I kind of want bad habit of putting my hand on the canvas. Okay, let's maybe have another. Let's come up this way. Let's do that too. So really just set the branches up any which way you'd like to do it. Okay, and I'm gonna have another one.
That is brown. I made a dark brown that's dried up and a light brown.
Oh yeah.
I just made a light brown. And don't dare put the camera in my position.
No worries. We don't have to have you in the camera at all if you don't want to, Jack. It's fine. Okay. So, this one comes this way. All right. So let's just keep putting in your branches. I'm gonna have another one that's gonna twist off and come off the side here. Oh, I want it. Here. Ooh, I'm gonna come this way. Okay, I'm just gonna bring it down a bit. I'm just gonna make my make it
I
my.
kind of made like a rainbow color swing.
Okay, cool.
And it's kind of thin.
So I'm just darkening my tree a bit because it did pull in a lot of my background color. So, and that was in a nice white area. So it did make my tree a little bit lighter than I wanted it to be. So I'm just going in now that that paint of my trunk has dried a bit more and just darkening it up a little bit. Just to make it a little bit more prominent. I'm going to be adding some highlights and some more shadows to it. And you can kind of do that in this process. If you put in like some pure black and then just like blend it in a bit, depending how dry or not dry your canvas is. When you're doing your tree too, instead of having like swift lines that go all the way across, remember it's bark, so you can make it a bit more uneven. So put in some shadows in here, put some darkness, and then maybe grab in some lighter and then just build that as well. And if you do like shorter strokes instead of like long sweeping strokes with the bark, it will look a little bit more realistic and bring some more texture to your tree. If you have different colors going on, that actually will look kind of nice. If you have like a dark and like a bit of a lighter. If you actually have brown paint too, like go nuts and use the brown paint, that's totally fine too. My tree has like a purplish texture color to it. And I like that.
I'm still going to put like a dot of black in the middle of my tree.
Okay, I'm just making a little bit more of that color that I like.
But I want like my sky to have like kind of like a rainbow.
Put a rainbow in your sky, Jack. Do whatever you like.
Okay. Make it really spread. Oh, water.
Okay. So keep working on your tree. Put your branches in the way you like them. Get your tree a little bit darker. Mine's almost where I like it to be before we'll go to our next step of putting in the swing. I want it just to come, another branch just to come out like this. Yeah. And I'm just adding water as I'm going back and forth just to make sure my paint's still nice and soft to move as I like it to move. Awesome. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna have another branch just kind of come up that way for fun. There's a little creek to it. I'm just adding a few little branches to my tree because I would like to do that. You can do the same if you want. You can leave it more simple. Okay. I think I'm good with it. This one ended up being super thick. I'm not super happy with that one, but that's okay. I'm just gonna bring another thicker branch that comes out of that one.
There we go. I made a rainbow in the sky.
That's great.
And even some green
I
at
like
little
with this one
tips
being
of
so
it.
thick, it's gonna have more branches coming out of it.
Tips of it.
And this line is a little bit not so thick.
So now, what do I do?
Okay. Just want to add a little bit more of them. Now I feel like that's good. This needs a little bit more, I think. Maybe we'll have another one coming this way. And something coming in here. Okay. Okay. I think that's okay. No, then I look back and I'm like, oh no, I actually want another branch somewhere else. So I'm gonna put another one here. Again, any of the ones that I made that were a little like thick, I feel like they need to have some more branches coming off of them. Because to me, it just doesn't make sense why they would be so thick and not have any offshoots. It doesn't work in my mind. So I'm just gonna add some more. Okay. Okay, now I'm gonna stop. All right, so we're gonna leave the tree as it is for now. I'm gonna go back in, I think a little bit later. Maybe now actually, sorry. I'm just gonna make this a little thicker, this base. I feel like it needs to be a little thicker to hold this tree.
I feel like I'm done.
Are you done your painting already, Jack?
Well, I definitely tried my best.
Okay, well I can't look at it just yet. Just give me a second. I'm just thickening
It's a good thing I still haven't signed my name.
Why? Why is it a good thing?
That gives you a little bit more time.
I'm just putting some black in here. Just do it a little bit more thickness. Okay. All right. All right. Yeah, that's better. That's like slightly thicker. I feel like that holds up the tree a little bit more. When like the actual trunk is almost same size as one of the big branches, it just, to me, it looks a little bit, it doesn't make any sense, really. It needs to be thicker at the base, right? So this branch really threw me off. I think I made that way too thick. But it's okay. So either I'm gonna maybe thicken this out a bit more later, or right now I'm happy with it that I made it a little bit thicker. Okay, cool. So now we're gonna put in the swing. I think Jack is done. Are you done?
Yeah, I'm just signing my
Putting your name? All right. We'll show everyone your painting afterwards when we're all done. Okay, so we're gonna put in our swing. The thing with the swing is that the ropes that are holding the swing in place are really straight. So that's going to be a bit of a challenge. If you do have like a ruler or something that you can use as a guide, I would suggest it because it's going to be difficult to have that happen. Are you done then?
Yep, I'm done.
All right. So do you want to show the picture?
Yeah, and I'll show you my
There's Jack.
for the first time.
All right, and this is Jack's picture.
I kind of made a rainbow to put it up.
He ended up doing a rainbow instead. Awesome. Great job, Jack.
You're welcome.
All right. And you're off now? Or are you staying in here for a bit?
I'm off.
All right. Bye.
Well, no, actually, I'm going to stay in here for a little bit.
Okay. So I need you to be quiet, though, love.
Do another painting.
No, I have no other paint for you. Okay, you can go. Why don't you go for now? Okay? I love you. Okay.
You too.
Close the door. Thank you. Okay. Awesome. So hopefully in that time you may have got a guide already. So I'm going to use my Kleenex box because that's a nice straight line. And I'm going to use that as my guide for me to do that. My painting is also a little bit wet there. So essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my painting, I'm going to lay it flat, and then I'm going to use this as a guide, and I'm going to draw the lines of the swing. I'm going to use black. I'm going to prep it and put water so that it's easy for it to spread, but not too much water so it just drips. That's not going to be good. So I'm just going to get my brush ready to go with that. Okay. So let's see. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that as you guys are seeing, but oh yeah, let me move my coffee cup. So I'm going to put this flat down. I'm going to decide where I want those strings to be, and I'm going to put my Kleenex box as my line. I'm going to line up the bottom of it. Kleenex box actually works quite well because the bottom of it can line up with the bottom of your canvas. You can make sure that the line is straight, because what can happen is even if you use that, if you make two uneven lines, you're going to not be happy with it. Okay, so I'm going to get my paintbrush with my black on it. Just going to do it this way, I think. And then I'm just going to put in those lines. Awesome. Careful with your box because there's paint on the bottom line, so I'm just wiping it off before I do the other side. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing, decide where I want it to go. Make sure that it's even. So eyeball it, or if you need to, whatever works for you. For me, I like to eyeball it. And we'll see if that was a good idea once I show it to you guys when it's done. You'll be like, oh yeah, you should have measured it properly. Okay. Okay. So there we go. And I should probably watch where I put my Kleenex box down. I put it on my carpet. Careful so you don't get like black paint. Black line of paint. So there we go. So now my lines are pretty straight. I'm just going to re-put the picture back on here. Okay, there you go. Okay, and this will just give you like a nice straight line, so now you can use it as a guide. So if you want to make it thicker or thinner, or however you want, not thinner, but thicker, or if you want to add anything else to it, then you're good to go. The lines should actually, so I didn't do it when I did it initially, but they should actually go around the tree, and they kind of stick up at the top. Ooh, that was still a little wet there. So it took the color of the tree instead of the black paint. Okay, so I just have it like, so it's like almost like looped around, so you can kind of see the tips of it. Okay, and similarly, if you want to use the Kleenex box or your guide for the seat, you can do that as well. I might actually regret not doing that, but I'm going to try and just do it by hand. Ooh, and I noticed too, using that actually kind of messed up my tree here because it was still a little wet. Just be careful when you put anything on top of your paintings. Just make sure it's not wet. There's a few little spots, but that's okay. It wasn't too bad. So just be careful when you do that on yours, because you don't want to do that and like smear it or something, and that would really suck. Okay, cool. So I'm just gonna do the seat of it. So I'm just gonna bring it across like that. Went off the side a little bit, and that was okay. Okay. And I'm just gonna make a little, like basically a rectangle. And I'm just using the black paint for now. I'm gonna end up going over it and giving it some highlights and putting some of the brown back into it to make it look like a piece of wood. Really wants to stick out further on that side. I gotta watch my hand so it doesn't do that. Just be cautious. Okay. And this line should actually come down as well. So let's just bring that. So there's like a little, basically where it like ties at the bottom of the swing to come down a little bit, maybe a little bit more. Okay. Because there is like a knot or something. I'm just putting a little line underneath each one to kind of look like it was like knotted. And I'm going to do the same thing on the top too. So I'm going to put like a little touch of my paintbrush just to kind of look like almost like the rope was knotted on the top and the bottom, so it holds the seat in place. So that's the kind of vibe that we wanted to go there. Hey Hermie, I just saw your message. I don't know if you're still on or not. Thanks for stopping in and saying hey. And yeah, I know I mentioned that I might be doing this on the live that we had on Saturday. And I posted it, but I don't think it gave enough time for everyone to see it. I don't normally do them this soon in advance, so I apologize for anyone who wanted to join. But again, you guys can watch it live if you want to and recreate this painting. It's really nice. It's a really fun one. Okay, cool. So while I'm here, we have a little bird in there. Said that really weird. Bird. Okay, so I'm gonna keep the black paint on my paintbrush, and I'm going to just put in the bird. So the bird, it's very small. And it's silhouette, which is nice. It makes it a little bit easier. So I'm gonna just do like a little kind of circle for the head, and then the body. So this is the tail, and the body just swoops like a smile. You have the little tip of the tail, and then we're just gonna bring it around. Okay, and making his head a little fatter. Maybe that was a little too fat. Make his body a little fatter to compensate for his big head. Okay, and then a little smooth. Okay, and then he's holding a little twig like this. And then we're gonna put a little flower on the end of there afterwards and just put his feet are. Oh, can't see how it looks there. So yeah, so there's a little bird. It looks like he's kind of holding like a worm or something right now. That's kind of cute. Okay, cool. So let's leave that for now. I'm gonna now go in and put in a little bit of color on the wooden seat before we go in and put all the lovely flowers and leaves on the tree, and then it's gonna look so bright. It's actually funny. That's like one of the other paintings we did where when you start off, I think it was the one with the lantern, it like looks really creepy. And then as soon as you put in the flowers, it's like, oh, it goes from like a Halloween kind of creepy fest to like a really happy, bright, fun painting. Okay, so I'm just gonna put in, oh, I can hardly see that. Okay, so let's change that and put a little bit of white. I wanna make it, put a line in here to kind of look like, give it some dimension and texture. Okay, there we go. That's better. That already looks way better. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that. I just put a line in there. Ooh, getting shadows going on. There we go. It's not super even, but it looks good because of the wood texture and the lines. Okay, cool. So I think I'm gonna leave that as is for now. And now let's move on and put on our flowers and our leaves. So what shall we start with? All right, let's start with our leaves. So I'm using my thin brush still. I'm going to use our yellow and our blue to make some green. So depending on the kind of green you want, that will depend on how you mix these colors. So if you want it to be really, really dark, you want to put some more blue and only a bit of yellow. If you want it to be more of a medium green, then you kind of want a mix of both. You can also, if you want to make it lighter, you can also add some white. White will just make it lighter as well. But if you add yellow to it, it will lighten it as well, but it will keep it more of that yellow-green kind of tinge. Okay, so pretty covered. Okay, now let's put in our leaves. So leaves, we're just going to make some kind of crescent-y type shapes. And with this painting too, like the leaves don't actually touch any of the branches, which is kind of weird. So it's just the idea of like leaves and flowers all over. So just decide where you want them and let's go crazy. So I'm gonna put one right here. And again, you wanna make sure you've put water so that it will move. And I say that because mine was not easy to use in that moment. Okay, and I'm just gonna color them in and make it solid. There we go. And I do want my leaves to have a little bit of more brightness in them. So I'm gonna put this as the base. Then I'm gonna go back in and put in a highlight. So let's just put in the shapes and the leaves where you want them to go. Okay, there's another one there. Another one here. Okay. Awesome. Let's keep putting these in wherever you want them to be. That one was a little bit darker than I wanted it to be, but we will work with it. Okay. Okay. I feel like some of them are a little bit lighter than the other ones. I'm trying to make them a bit darker, but some of them are getting pretty light. Okay. This one's gonna come across in front here. Okay. It's a lot quieter when Jack leaves. I feel like I need to like fill the silence with something. And I realized that I don't really do that when I paint. When I paint on my own, I don't really just talk to myself. I usually have maybe like some music going or some podcast in the background. Okay, so let's just pop them in wherever you want them to live. Some can be bigger, some can be smaller. A lot of these, the ones on this picture, they're all about the same size. I do like to have them kind of varying in size, but to make it more like cartoon-esque, like just the image, it does make more sense for them to be more equal size. Yeah. And remember too, we're still going to put in flowers. So we don't want all the space to be filled with green leaves. We want it, there's still going to be space that we're going to be putting in these little beautiful flowers. Trying to watch where my hand is. Awesome. Okay, so I think in some of my crazy little branches that I've made, some of these leaves are going to go on top of the branches. and some are not. So how are we gonna do that? We're gonna put one here, put another one here. Okay, doing good so far. Nice. Starting to be less creepy and more spring-like. When you're doing these leaves, like that one is kind of the opposite of what I want to do, but you want it to be a bit more like rounder, I guess, at where the base is, I suppose, if you're going to make them thicker and then make them thinner as they come out. Ideally, you want to have them like thin points on either side, but I tend to always make one side a little bit like fatter than the other side. Trying to make them more even as we go. Here is going to go on top of this branch. This is going to come here. Okay. There, I'll provide some music for you guys. All right. I think I'm almost, as I say always, I'm almost done, and then I end up putting in like another, like a bunch more. How do I like it? It's funny, every time I look in there, I'm like, oh yeah, I know, but these ones are really light, and that's okay. Another one here. It looks very much like there's no green leaves back there, but there's a few. Maybe they'll pop more when I put the flowers in. Make sure this stays active. I'm gonna put a leaf right here. Yeah, I think that's good. And then maybe another one. Oh, maybe that's it. I don't know. No, I'm gonna have one more here. Okay. I think I need another like leaf in here. Put some more green in. Need something else happening like in here. Am I like in the way? Hopefully not. Okay, and then I want to put another one like here. Yeah, I like that more. I'm gonna keep that a little bit emptier. I'm gonna put another one here, or maybe here. Okay. All right, I think that's good. Okay, I'm gonna let those dry out a little bit. I think, you know what? No, I'm gonna try actually. I wanna make them a little bit lighter. So I'm gonna get a bit of yellow. And on some of them, I want to add a little bit of yellow too. Yeah, I like that. Okay. So I'm using some water and oh, I think it said our feed is frozen. Let's see what's going on. Okay, 1 second. Oh, it's totally, oh, okay. Okay, it should be okay. I just reset. So, Yana, let me just send her a message. Okay. Okay. All right, cool. Oops. didn't want to get rid of that. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep going with the, sorry about that, trying to get technical stuff too as we're going on. Okay. I'm putting in just a little bit, a highlight of yellow on some of these leaves to give it a bit more dimension to it. I should have done this side. I should have done that side first. Silly, silly, silly. And it's okay if it pulls some of, if it's still wet, it's okay, because it'll pull some of the green, and it'll just dull the yellow a little bit on some of the leaves, and I think that looks just fine. If you don't like that, just wait till it's a little bit drier, do the ones that have dried off a bit, and then just put the yellow on there to give it that little emphasis. And I'm just doing it on like one side of the leaf. Yeah, I'm kind of going back and forth between liking it being kind of smeared into leaves and the colors just like blending together, and also liking just the pure yellow line in it. I think when it's more just like a straight yellow line, it does also look a little bit more cartoon-like. So it really just depends on what you are feeling is with it. Hey, Tori. Thanks for stopping in. I know this painting is so pretty. It's just like, just peaceful and happy and nice. Okay, cool. So I like it, and I want to still dull a few of them with a bit more green. So that's what I'm gonna do, because that's what I do. I put like a highlight, and then I kind of go back and just add a bit more green on top of it. And then I don't know, I feel like that looks a little bit nicer. Again, I'm doing the stuff where I don't want to smear it, and I'm right-handed. Very silly. Like, clearly don't learn my lesson every time I do it, and then it makes it harder. I know. Okay. I'll just get better at like trying to avoid smearing everything I've done. Those are very, wait, they need a little bit more. Oh, a little bit of red. Okay. Ugh, I don't like that one. And that one's like very forefront, front and center. I'm not sure what's happening with that one. I don't like it. Okay, maybe that's a little better. Okay. So, I don't know if you can see it there, but that's what I've done with the leaves. So it's just like a little bit. So what I did to recap was we had the green. So we just made the green color that I liked. We just put all the leaves kind of going, and like make sure the ends are pointed on either side. If they have to be a bit thicker, if I ended up doing a bit of rounder, I try to keep those hopefully to where the tree trunk is, or the branches are. And then I just put in a swoop of yellow on every single leaf. And then I went back with the green, or a little bit of version of the green, and just like blend that in just to dull out that line. So it's not just a super harsh line. So it just gives kind of like a highlight instead of it being like a very harsh yellow line. Cool. So now we're going to put in our flowers. So start with whichever color you like. I think I'm going to mix, I want to do some of the pink flowers right now. So I'm going to get some red. I put water on my brush initially. So I'm just making like a pink with the red and the white. So make it until you are happy with the color that you see. Make sure that there is water mixed in here. So it'll be easy to smooth on, but not too much water or else it doesn't smooth on very well. Okay, so these little flowers are super cute. They're like little 5-point ones on this picture. Again, you can make them however you want. I'm going to just do kind of still like little 5 swoops with my brush, but being very small. Okay. Okay, so let's just put in wherever you want. And remember, well, in this painting, we have 3 different colors of flowers. So just keep in mind if you want to put in all different colors. And again, you can do your own flowers. So if you want to make them orange, if you want to make them blue, you do whatever you want to do. Oh, I don't like the way that looks there at the bottom. Okay, there we go. Okay. Oof, watery. If you're doing multiple colors, try to get a nice variety. Like make sure there's pink everywhere. Make sure you kind of cover it and have all the colors all over, so it's not just like a big group of pink or a big group of purple on one side. It will just make it look nicer for your eye if your eye kind of dances around. I've noticed too, some of my flowers have gotten significantly bigger than my first few ones, and that is okay. I think I actually might make some come over some of these branches. I think that will look nice. Okay. Nice. Okay, I'm almost done, I think, with my pinks. And then I'm going to move on to one of the other colors. I want one more like here. I really like this pink color. I think because of the purple I put in the background, I don't know, I feel like the pinks are popping really nice. Okay, cool. Let's look in there. Sometimes I see more when I look at the reflection. Okay, I'm gonna put another one in here. Okay, I like that. I like how it kind of, my eye dances around. There's pink everywhere. Okay, beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to now actually just make, you know what I should have done? I didn't even have to clean my brush, to be honest. I'm gonna just add blue to my pink mixture. And I'm gonna add more red. And I wanna get a nice lavender going. Okay, again, if you have purple paint, go nuts, use purple paint, mix different colors. I always use the red, blue, green, white, and black as the main ones because you can make any colors from those paints. So for anyone who's not really like into painting, you don't have a ton of different paint colors and you want to start simply, that's always what I find the best to go with because you can do everything you want with those colors. I just need it to water it down a bit. Okay. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing. Just pop some purple flowers. Pop them anywhere you want to. I'm doing the same thing, just putting kind of 5 little strokes of my brush. I'm trying to make sure I stay small. So, the other ones, I ended up making them a little too big. But you know what? It's okay, because this is my painting and the world we're creating. So you can kind of do whatever you want, and it's fine. This is where you have full control, which is a nice thing to have on something in this life right now. Okay. Okay. This one's going to be off the page a bit. Oh, that does not look very good. That's okay. Needs to come out more. Okay. All right, I think I'm almost done my purples, but far fewer of them than the pink, I think, but I'm okay with that. I think that looks nice. Okay. One here. Let's look in there and see if I see any other spots. Maybe here. And these are kind of like floating, kind of. They're not really attached to any particular branch, and that's okay. That works out really nice. Okay. Hey, Crystal, not sure if you're still on, but I saw your message just now. Nice to hear you like the painting. I hope you guys enjoy it. And yeah, you guys can definitely, that's the great thing about this. You can watch these anytime. So just go on the painting page and you'll be able to find it there. I'll see if there's a better way to organize them as we keep creating them. I want to make sure you guys can still find these that you like. I'm also putting together a YouTube channel with videos on there. So just to have an easier interface so you can find them if you want to do them in the future. Okay, cool. So now I'm using my white paint and I'm going to do the same thing with the flowers. So now we're going to put little white flowers everywhere. So pretty. I need to add a little bit of white, a little bit of water, sorry, to the white so it spread it a bit easily. I always forget that. I always say it, but then I forget it every time. The white's really going to pop in the areas that are a bit darker, which is nice. Okay, I know I need more of them. I'm just not sure where. Unless you can hardly see this one because it's bright area. I'll put one. No, here. Oof, I don't like how my brush is feeling. There we go. That's better. Okay. Okay. Another one again. Oh, okay. Okay, there's still, you can still kind of see it in the light areas, but they're definitely harder to see. I don't know why I'm still insisting on putting them on the lighter areas. It's silly. Okay, let's move on to these darker areas. Okay, so just basically you can put on as many or as few as you like. Really is up to you, whatever you want to do. It's very fun. I find this very relaxing. To putting little flowers. As long as your paintbrush and the paint is cooperating with you. And sometimes when like that's the, if it's a little bit too hard to spread, just make sure you put a little bit more water. If you're finding it too watery, just put a little bit more paint, and then you'll be a happy camper. Okay. There's a really great technique as well that you can do with Q-tips. So like you can, instead of doing that, you can like wrap like 5 of them and like put like I guess tape or an elastic band, and then dip them and then pop it on, and that looks really cute too. Something else to keep in mind for future painting sessions. Okay. I think I want one here. Okay. And don't forget that we're gonna have to still put in the little eye in the middle of all of our flowers. So we're gonna put in that center before we're done. So we still have one more step to do before this is all complete. Okay. One more flower here. Okay. I think kind of like a little line of white flowers. They're kind of pretty. Okay, yeah, I think that's good. Maybe want another one in here, actually. You guys are gonna get used to me. I'm gonna be like, yeah, it's done. You're gonna be like, yeah, no, she's not done. She's gonna put one more somewhere. This one's just gonna be floating in the air. You know what? I really shouldn't have put this one in. This one's not cooperating. Rude flower. Okay, cool. It's done. All right. So the middle of all of these flowers is a little black dot. Oh shoot! You know what I forgot? I didn't put in my flower with my bird. The bird is just holding a worm until I put a flower there. Silly me. Okay. So yeah. So I know in the picture there he's holding a white flower. So I'm gonna do that. I'm just gonna go back to my white. Silly me. Okay. So boop. Boop. Put some more white. Boop. Okay. There you go. Now he's a flower. It's not a worm. It's okay. If you want to make it and keep it a worm, that's totally cool too. All right. Okay, cool. So now let's do our final touch on the flowers, and that's going to make them pop so nice. Black on your thin brush, and you're just going to go boop, boop, boop. I'm going to do all of my purple and pink flowers first because they've dried. And I'm going to go back and do the white ones. Okay, and that's just going to make it pop. Okay. Boop, boop, boop. Again, noises are encouraged. Boop, 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 boop. Oop, that boop went a little bit crazy. Oh, it's still kind of wet. Okay, it still worked. That's good. Okay, let's go to my white. Ooh, some of these are very wet. I'm worried that it's not going to stay. If they're too wet, then just be a bit more patient than I am and wait and do them afterwards once they dry. I am not super patient. That's why acrylic paints work for me. I've always wanted to try oil paints. I think they'd be so fun. But I feel like waiting between times for certain things to dry, and that would drive me insane. Okay. Oh, I don't want that to be cold then. Okay, so there we go. I think I got all of my flowers with a boop. Looks like it. Okay, so there's a close-up. The white ones really stand out on the dark background, eh? Like they're, oh, that's what my eye's going towards right away. There we go. There's the little bird holding the flower. So cute. And that is that. And don't forget to sign it as well. And that, I think, is pretty much it. I might still want to go back and touch up a few things. But for the purposes of this live, we are done for today. So thank you so much for everyone who's joined. And if you're watching this on the Facebook page after the live, please feel free to, I'd love to know. So please comment and let me know that you've seen it. And please, please, please share your paintings, because that's the most fun part about this, is to see everyone's works of arts and how you've kind of taken that idea and made it your own. And I absolutely love it. If you liked the way this was set up, I feel like this was easier for you to see the picture. I would also love to hear that too. So I think I might kind of focus it more and do it in the setting where you can see really close up to the picture. Again, I'm just using my laptop camera, so it's definitely not the most technologically advanced or kind of situation here, but hopefully this was a little bit better and you could see nicely. All right. Well, thank you so much for spending the afternoon with me, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Stay safe, stay warm, and enjoy. And somehow I'm going to see how I'm going to disconnect from this now. Let's see. All right. Bye, guys.